What's the haps? I'm Meroka, and today I'm going to be taking a quick look at a Druid's Duel. It's by Thoughtshelter Games, and it's kind of a digital board game is what this is. This is a big grid-based affair with moving various pieces which are all druids around battling for territory control on a board. And it involves druids, lots of druids, and I like this. I played a druid back in the World of Warcraft days, so I'm a fan of druids. Druids are cool. There's not a lot to speak of in the way of an options menu. It's a Unity game, so it's done through the Unity launcher. You've got a few resolution options there, and you've got your graphics options, which are usual drop-down presets. And then you can rebind the controls. Not there's a lot of need for that. It can entirely be played through mouse commands, and I probably will play it with mouse, because, I don't know, I've never found any keyboard shortcuts that actually work for me, but I'm not a great strategist, so yeah, that's it. I will say I like this main menu music. It's very reminiscent of Final Fantasy Tactics, actually. So we have play online and local multiplayer, but I'm going to carry on through the campaign. It's kind of divided into like 6 sections. I've completed a little over the first section of the game. It's the realm of 6 seasons, and you go through the different seasons. Each season is a section. I'm onto the second area. It's taken me a little over 2 hours to get there, according to the game. It's taken me about 3 hours, according to Steam, so something doesn't add up right. There's not a lot of scope for easily going back and replaying a lot of the missions in the campaign, so it's just going to throw me straight into the next mission. So we're heading through into the mountains of Aldenfall, I think is the name of this area. It's the second season. It's autumn is what it is. Autumn or fall or whatever you want is the season. So we are the Blue Army. We are these chaps up here. We've got this guy who is I forget the name of each of the types. It's a Wind Rider. He's basically your bird druid. We've got these guys are Guardians. They are the Wolves, and then there's a couple of other ones which are expensive units which I don't have access to at this early stage in the game. We've got this grid-based board. The brown tiles are autumn season tiles, and then the white ones are a kind of winter. In the realm of 6 seasons, there are 2 different types of winter, and I forget what they both are. So each tile has a different mana value. If you control the tile, indicated by the colour marks around it, you will gain mana each turn just purely by having control of that tile on the board. So the different druids have different costs, different abilities, different potentials. So this one, I can turn into a bird for 10 mana. Each of the abilities, with the exception of the really expensive unit, costs 10 mana to use their ability. That would allow me to essentially just drop from the sky and attack somebody. I don't think I want to do that early on. Early on, I found you probably want to use these guys who can turn into wolves and just try and capture as much of the board as possible. The different seasons are worth different amounts. Say the brown ones are autumn, they're worth 3 mana per turn. The icy, snowy ones are worth, at least this kind. There's another one which doesn't even have grass growing through it, which I think is the next area. That one, then, those only have 1 mana per turn. So capturing different tiles has different value to the player, and ideally, if you want any of them, you want kind of these autumn tiles at this point in the game. As I say, we're in the autumn area, and the autumn has a few winter tiles. Then I think the next area will be this kind of winter, and then there's like winter and like deep winter or something, and the deep winter is only worth 1 point per tile. So I think the next area will just be sort of light winter and deep winter, and then it'll move on to like deep winter and spring or something. So the mana resource mechanics will change as you progress through the game. So I'm just gonna try and capture some territory early on, I think, with this guy. So I'm going to turn into a wolf. Like that. And the wolf allows me to move 4 spaces per turn. You capture any space you step on. So I want that space, that space, that space, and that space. I just want a bunch of yellow territory early on, I think. It does leave 2 of my characters with not a lot to do this turn. So him, it would cost me another 10 mana to turn into wolf, so I can't do that this turn. So failing that, he can only move 1 space, and he can, if there's an enemy adjacent, he will attack and kill it. All the druids, with the exception of bosses, only ever get 1 health, so if you hit them, they die. That includes these expensive guys over here that are worth 20 mana, these guys are worth 15, these guys are worth 5, they all die to 1 hit. So if you can just go, boop, if there was an enemy there, I could just kill him and destroy him. This guy, there's not a lot useful to do here. I could move over there and grab the fairy. Fairies are just worth a bunch of mana to me. At this point in the game, it's only worth 3, but the longer fairies are around on the map, they're worth more mana, so I could wait a little while and pick up that fairy later for more like 5 or 9 mana or something. Right now, I think capturing territory is probably of greater use to me, and I certainly can't turn into a bird because I don't have that. As you can see, he's got a bow, so his attack range is actually 2 spaces away, so he can't attack immediately adjacent spaces, but he can attack enemies that are 2 spaces away from him. So right now he's just going to be capturing territory for me. This one, I'm just going to move forward. That's probably within range of this guy whose power is to turn into a bear and just go on a bit of a rampage, which is pretty potent. But that's going to cost him a lot of mana to take out one of my low mana units, so I don't think he's terribly likely to do that. He probably could kill this guy, actually, to be entirely fair, which is kind of a risk. So maybe that wasn't the most useful move, but there we go. I think they're mostly concerned with capturing territory early on, I think. So this map, this map has 3 factions. We've got the yellow faction, red, and blue. The first area of the game only ever gives you 2 factions. It's just you versus the yellows throughout the game. So I don't know if more and more factions are introduced as we go along and it gets increasingly more complex. That may be the case, but I don't know. I shall have to see as we play along. So, what am I going to do here? Here, I have some more mana to work with. I've gained a lot more territory, so there's a lot more, so I get a lot more mana on my next turn. This fairy is now worth 5, because it's been around a little bit longer, so I might just move the bird guy there to do that. At the same time, it would probably be advantageous for me to actually use my bird to actually kill some guys. So, I've got this guy who's worth 20 mana, and this guy that's worth 15, so that would be a really useful kill for me to get on that guy. So, if I use my bird powers, I can fly a good range on that. You can't fly anywhere you want, but you can fly a lot of places. So since yellow's nearest, I think yellow's probably going to be my priority. If I move him, I want to be 2 spaces away from him. Diagonally counts as 1 space. You can move characters diagonally, and that is just 1 move. So if I moved it there, I wouldn't be able to attack. If I moved it there, I'd be able to hit the, what are they called, a Waywalker, which turns into a turtle and has a bunch of spells at their disposal. But I would then be in range of this guy, so he'd be able to just straight up stab me next turn. So I think it's not going to capture me any territory, but I think I want to go here, because then you can land. If you land directly on a druid, you kill the druid. If you land 2 spaces away from a druid and haven't actually attacked anyone yet this turn, you can then take an additional shot and kill them. So that's useful. So there we go. So what I want to do now is I want to capture a bunch of territory, and I probably want to do it with the wolf guy. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I think will do me there. He's probably going to get killed next turn, in all likelihood, but sacrifices must be made in battle, I suppose. So you can go there. I could turn him into a wolf and capture more territory there. Not sure if I want to do that or not. I'll move him forward. I think what I want to do is flood some more units onto the board, because quite frankly, if these get killed, I'm not going to have much to actually capture territory with next turn. Most of my strategy seems to involve rushing the board with guardians. So there's the bear in action. The bear can destroy damn near anything, including the turtles, which normally cannot be destroyed by anything else. Turtles are immune to damage except the bears. So he can destroy obstacles, he can destroy bears, he can destroy all sorts of stuff, and he gets to move 3 moves a turn, and his turn doesn't end if he kills something. So the bears are powerful if you can get them in range of a bunch of enemy ones. As it is, I'm just going to stab him like that, because that's easy. And him, I can shoot there, he's dead, so I can get a bunch of territory back with this guy now. So grab that, and place myself in melee range of this guy, so this guy actually can't hit me because I'm within his range there. And he's going to have to try and move away now. He could use his flight, but that's going to cost him 10 mana. It's going to be an expensive move for him regardless. I think I just want to stab this guy, basically. He's invading my territory. I don't want him there. That's a cheap enough move. Okay, I probably want... I've got enough mana to buy some of the more interesting classes now, but I don't think I want to. I still want to gain early dominance with some of these units. Let's put a few of these down. And then I'm going to have one of those, so I've got a bit more ranged ability on my guys. Now, there's a very real possibility that their yellow Wind Rider is going to land on one of mine, but I still have one more Wind Rider than them, so I think I'm pretty good. And that's going to be me for that turn. So it's all about board dominance. The game ends when all of the tiles are owned by one player. Even when... I don't think there's a way to concede, which is kind of annoying. There may be in multiplayer, I don't know, but you often get to a point in the game where there's just one overwhelming faction is so much more dominant than anyone else, and it's like, they've clearly won this match, but the game doesn't end at that point. So I might as well kill their Wind Rider. That seems like a useful way to go. I think I probably want to start venturing forth into their territory, which I could move a wolf there. I've still got my Wind Rider there, so I could use the bird to land on well, if I land that there, he's going to be in kill range next turn. So actually, I'm not going to use the bird now. What I want to do is use the wolf, capture that, capture that, capture that, capture that. There we go. So I've got some room to actually build in their territory, because you can only place units on the spaces that are owned by you. So now I can actually build things in that territory if I wanted to do that. Well, I don't want to do that. What I want to do is move the bird. Where can I move the bird? Where would be a good place to put the bird? I could put him... I don't want him to be in melee range of this thing, to be honest, but I would like to capture some territory. That's not the worst place, because then that captures... It's only 2 mana per turn, not 3, but hey, I can capture 2 mana per turn and then kill their ranged unit. That's okay, that's not bad. Now, I've got another one here, which I think will be useful for taking out one of their more valuable units. The Waywalkers have got a lot of powerful spells, but they can't outright kill anything, so it's not too bad if I place that guy near to him. So I could bring my bird over there and shoot him, so that takes out their powerful unit, and the Waywalker ain't going to do much to me. I'm not within range of any of their other stuff, so I'm actually making a bit of headway into the red territory here. Yellow is probably out of the game very, very soon. Let's throw one of these guys down, because they are pretty cool. And I'm happy with that. So yellow can't do much. Yellow hasn't got much territory, so yellow is not getting much mana per turn, because territory is your resources. So yellow's just out of this, they really are. And I've got an opportunity to go crazy with a bear now, so I'm going to take that opportunity. So bear can go... Smashy, smashy, smashy. Oh, I could have smashed the tree stump as well, but oh well. If you destroy an obstacle, which requires the guy with the hammer or the bear to destroy it, then, yeah, there we go, defeated him and got some mana. Then that spawns a fairy in the local area as well if you're looking for a bit of mana. So that one that I never did pick up early on is now worth 9 mana, because I think it caps out at 9 mana, because it's been hanging around for about 4 turns now, so it's worth a good bit. So my Wind Rider can't do much. We've got the turtle there, he's sat there cowering away. There's not much he can do. What I can do is drop a bird on their most powerful unit, though, so that's always nice to have. And I guess I've got all my Wind Riders. I could carry on dropping some of these on some guys. One of those, and I'm out of that. So we can go capture some of their territory. 1, 2, 3. There we go. Some more mana for me and some territory to spawn units on. This guy, I'll just move him towards the fairy, actually. I don't think there's much this guy can do at this point in time other than gain me some more mana. I will place a Waywalker, because Waywalkers are fun, to be honest. Waywalker, if you haven't got a Waywalker on the board when you spawn them in, they immediately become active. So he can move 3 spaces in 1 turn. He can't kill anything, but he has these spells at his disposal as well. So I can place obstacles or remove them. I can add or remove land to the board to allow me to get to places or cut places off from people. Or I can just straight up for 3 mana steal a chunk of land. Which, if I could manage to steal something that they didn't recapture, that'd probably work out quite quickly. On this particular territory, that'd be quite useful, because a lot of the land is worth 3 mana per turn, so that's actually quite advantageous. On something like a Deep Winter board, where most of the board was only worth 1 mana per turn, you probably wouldn't want to use that spell so much, because you need to hang on to that land for 3 turns to make it worth actually capturing in the first place. So it depends on the kind of board you're playing on as to how much utility different spells have. So I have seen some of the bosses, at least the first boss anyway, can drop land out from underneath your guys. I don't think that works here. I can try it, but no. If you try and use that spell on a space that has a guy on it, it just doesn't let you do it. Certainly the boss can... The boss is kind of cheaty, but hey, he's a boss. So basically the boss can actually literally remove land from underneath your druid, thereby destroying your druid. And he can cast 3 spells a turn as opposed to your standard 1. So he can just straight up just insta-kill 3 guys in quite a large range. He's quite powerful, yeah. So what I want to do probably, more likely around here, is... Do I want to steal some land? I could steal 2 pieces of land. No, I can't. I can only cast 1 spell per turn anyway. I'm not sure what I want to do with this guy. I brought him all the way over here, but I don't know what I want to do with him. I probably won't do anything with him, in all honesty, because I don't think there's much useful that I want to do with him. I'll just keep wolf guys in their territory to steal a bunch of land, I think is probably the most useful thing I want to do here. So there we go, that's their Waywalker casting a bunch of spells. Also, he did cast a bunch of spells. I thought it was 1 per turn. I may be wrong. I guess I was wrong. Let's cast some spells just to see what we're doing. Can I? Remove that. Apparently I can continue to cast spells, so okay, yeah, I was wrong. Yeah, you can cast more spells per turn. So, why did I do that? I removed it from underneath my own guy. So I guess you can kill your own guys, but not the enemy guys. Which was accidental. I meant to click on that guy to use the guy, not use the spell on it. That's not ideal, if I'm honest. I wish I hadn't done that. I didn't know you could do that. That's kind of backfired on me a little bit. Oh well, I think I've got mostly board control on here, so I don't think it's too bad. So let's capture a bunch of their territory, just to be annoying like that. My bear I definitely can't get to them, but however I can destroy that, bring a fairy into existence. Let's grab that for that 9 mana. The 9 mana is going to be useful to me. Presumably I can throw a bunch of bears down in the local area, I suspect. It's probably not a bad way to go, all things considered. I'll move him closer. Can use my Waywalker to... What can I do with my Waywalker? I can move him. I could capture some territory, I suppose. He's within melee range of a bunch of stuff. If I move him closer, he's going to get killed by this unit. If I move him away, he's going to get killed by this unit. Actually, what I want to do is turtle down, because that means he can't be killed by anything other than a bear. And they actually don't have any bear units on the board, so I'm pretty solid. I probably want to bring some ranged onto the board at this stage. If I grab a couple of these. Got those. And I don't know what else I want to do. I want more bears, but I haven't got room to spawn bears. At least not without getting them killed pretty quickly. Throw a bear in there, why not? I'm just down. I don't know why I feel the need to use up all my mana, but I do. And there you go. I love the style of this game as well, by the way. The style of this game, it's a really gorgeous looking game. The graphics of this are just... It's beautiful. It's a beautiful aesthetic they've got going on. The music, as I mentioned, the music on the main menu, as I say, it sounds a lot like Final Fantasy Tactics, and yeah, it does. The rest of the game maybe not so much, but it's still very pleasant. I'm gonna go bear mode with this guy, just for the extra range and the ability to kill things. Well, not that he couldn't kill things anyway, but the extra range is nice to have. So grab the fairy for a little bit of mana, destroy that guy, and claim... I don't know what territory I want to claim. What territory... If I claim that, I'm going to have to kill this guy at some point. So let's just drop on him from the sky. That works. Just drop a bird on the guy. That kind of works. Move him there. Move him there. Claim the territory. My Waywalker... I can move him a couple spaces, and I want to bring some land up. Let's actually fill the gaps in that have been removed. Oh, I see. Oh, I think I've just realized exactly how that works. So you can... He's got 3 moves, and they can be either a spell or moving a space. So I moved him 2 spaces and then cast a spell. So that's 3 moves for his turn. That kind of explains that one. I've got enough mana that I can afford to do this, so I guess I'll just reclaim that red territory. I don't want the enemies around here. I don't want them to be able to spawn behind my lines, effectively. If there's any red territory on there, it's a great place for them to just throw down like a few wolves and just go crazy and capture stuff. Which is not ideal, really. It's not what you want the enemy to be doing. Speaking of which, I should probably be moving forward into their territory. I've got this map, to be fair. There's not much they can do. They've got 2 things and they're both turtled. I can throw some more bears down just to break their turtles. But I think I'm done here. It's a surprisingly complex game, but it's also... It's not too hard to get into. You can pick it up pretty quickly, and I think it's be really fun to play multiplayer, to be honest. I mean, admittedly, I was trying to get a game with a colleague of mine, but his computer is now broken, so that wasn't entirely happening. I'm guessing that takes a few hits to destroy. I rather thought the bears could destroy the turtles. I thought that was how that worked. I suppose if I check the help, it will actually inform me. Possibly indestructible, it says. That's not what I wanted to know. What I wanted to know is, bear abilities can attack turtles. It says it can attack them. It doesn't say it can kill them, so maybe it takes a few hits? That's all I can imagine that must be the case. So, fine, I'll drop a bird on you, because we can. Try and capture some territory. 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go, that's 4 spaces there. I'm not going to get him to the turtles, so I'll just move him as close as I can. It's fine. Let's bring him... over to capture some territory. There's not much I can do with him, but I can capture some territory. And bring him over to the new island, so there we go. So they really don't have much. They've got very, very little land left. He's only got 2 spaces to actually spawn units, and he's got the 2 turtles. He can continue turtling, but quite frankly, I'm just going to make more bears. There are only so many times you can defend against bears. I'm pretty sure the bears get through it eventually. Otherwise, that's just kind of OP. He does seem to be removing the land from underneath my guys, though, which I never seem to be able to do, which is kind of annoying. I wish to do this. Can I do this to his guys? Add or remove land. Oh, I can do it. Hey, check that out. Well, that's useful. Now you're dead. I don't know why it sometimes lets me do it and sometimes doesn't. It's kind of strange in that way. Grab that mana. I don't know why I need it. He's got one more move. Can I not build land? Well, I can't now. Damn it. Well, I can just drop. Expensive way of capturing land, but I can just drop the birds on it and move him there. And there we go. I've got control of the entire board. Which, as I mentioned, even though I'd clearly gained dominance a long time ago, I've got far, far more resources than the enemy can hope to counter. It still forces me to play it out, even when he's got like no units left on the board and only like 2 tiles to spawn on. The fact is, it's still like, no, you haven't finished the game until you've captured all the tiles. I guess there's some scope for a comeback, definitely, but at some point I feel like you just need to concede. At some point you need to be like able to say, this isn't going to work. This player cannot win. But then again, when did a computer player ever concede? It may be that you can concede in multiplayer, and I would hope so. But there you go, that is a game of a Druid's Duel. That's that's pretty much all the mechanics shown off to you. As I say, the variety of the different boards, like I say, there's going to be 6 different board kinds in the different seasons as you progress through the game. They're going to provide, I would imagine, drastically different playstyles, because you're going to have to balance what kind of different resources are available to you. In the middle of winter, you're going to be very, very light on mana on most of the board. In the middle of spring, or indeed now, like in autumn, mana is going to be a plentiful on the board, and you're going to have loads and loads of mana to spend on lots of stuff. So I'm ending games with like 120 mana per turn, which lets me spawn lots and lots of units per turn. There are loads of resources on this board, but yeah, in 2 seasons' time, when it's the depths of winter, you're probably going to get about 1/3 of that. You're probably only going to be getting, even at endgame, about 40 mana per turn. You're going to be forced to use your resources much more conservatively. So, yeah, there you go. There's a game summary. It does kind of rank you at the end with this 2, I don't know, symbol, sigil things, whatever the heck these are, out of 3. A few stats on what happened on the game, and then we can carry on. In spite of it doing that, it doesn't, like I say, it doesn't necessarily easily give you a way to go back. So this is the game board. It threw me into that map because I think I'd already started it once. Normally you'd be able to pick levels. So you get these, you get this level select option. You start off here, and then once you've beaten it, it's like you've got 2 routes that you can pick. You can go up, or you can go right on this kind of grid. I went right. That blacks out this option. So I can't go up, I can't go back, and I can't go see the older levels that I skipped. I made a choice and I must stick to it, or at least until the end of the section. So by going this way, I've gone this way. If I have a look at the spring board, you can have a quick look there. You can see the route that I did take through the level, and there are a few other options. Once you've finished the section, once I finished High Summer, which is the first season you start in, High Summer, then you can go back and replay them. If I click on any of these, I can actually go back and redo these levels. The ones with the enemy druid on, they are the boss levels, which gives him his super cheaty powers that let him cast spells a mile away and destroy everything, which is kind of annoying, but he is a boss. What do you expect? I imagine if you went this way, there would be other routes through the level. I don't know where this would go from here. It'd be interesting to see. But I would have to go back and replay them, and I've not done that yet. So, yeah, you can get to these other levels, but only once you finish the section. First time, you kind of have to commit to it and follow this route. And like I say, it does grade you. If I look on this, it's like, oh yeah, you got 2 out of 3, but until I finish this section, there's no way of going back and getting 3 out of 3. What the actual point of that is, other than just completionist purposes, I'm not sure. It probably is just for completionists, because there's plenty of those guys out there that like that. If you want to go back and do things perfectly, there's scope for doing that as well. But this is really cool. I'm enjoying this. It's a really satisfying game to play, and I think it'd be a really good strategic thing to play against an actual person, I think. And I will try to get something like that going in the future. I'll try and get a video with a colleague of mine of this game. But there's a quick look at a lot of the mechanics. It's really cool. I'm enjoying it a lot. It looks great, and it plays great. Shame about the resolution thing. I really don't know why it runs in this weird 4:3 resolution. I really don't, which is just not ideal. But there you go. Other than that, that's kind of like the only real gripe I've got on it. It's a really cool game. So this is out now on Steam, available for Windows, Mac, and Linux, and it's available for the princely sum of £6.99 or a regional equivalent. And I think, judging from the fact that it took me like 2 hours to play through the first season, and then there's like 6 seasons, and then you've got multiplayer on top of that, I think there's a lot of content in there for £7. I think they could have easily charged more than that for that. You're getting I think you're getting a very good deal with that one. It seems like there's an astonishing amount for that price. But there you go, thank you very much for watching. I have been Meroka. This has been a Druid's Duel. I shall see you next time.